How's it going, y'all? CJ from On The Go here, and today I wanted to quickly talk about a very quick little system that we rigged together, almost Frankenstein style here to wash some trays. So now I saw about 2 weeks ago Charlie's Microgreens over in Miami, Florida, showing a really cool power washer system that they set up where it basically looked like they had a power washer coming from the top down or potentially from the bottom up. But what they had is shrink wrap all around the sides, and they were just able to slide trays in and out. And I really like that idea because we do wash a lot of our trays with the power washer, but the main issue is that I was holding the power washer and you're kind of fighting the strength of that power washer pushing back against you, but you're also, using your hand motions a lot and you're trying to hold down the trays as you're washing them. So I like the idea of having something stationary that you could just kind of slide trays in and out of. Now, this is something I thought about in the past, but I just never really got around to making a build for it. So I actually had a little quick idea that I wanted to put together for this. I threw together a quick design a few days ago, and it was pretty decent. And then I had some more ideas, and we're just kind of playing around here, just trying to see the core functionality of how this thing would work, what angle we position the power washer at, what do we use to hold the trays, does it slide in and out. So this thing is very, very much a very rough prototype, but it is just a fun little system here to try to wash some trays. So I figured I would share with you guys the first kind of experience now that we've kind of rigged something together a little bit better than my very first iteration, which Mandy will show you guys some videos of that she had gotten. And basically I just got covered in all kinds of grow medium last time I washed this. It was in my teeth, it was in my eyes. So there's definitely room for improvement, maybe like a little plexi screen right here, something to kind of keep the debris from splashing back at me. But for now, let's just go ahead and test it as is. So let's go ahead and get into it. So basically what we've got here is I've got some EMT conduit pipe hooked up to what is a miniature like little greenhouse that we had. This actually had a plastic cover around it that you used to start seeds out in wintertime on our porch and stuff like that to keep the humidity in. And that plastic ended up going bad because it was kind of a cheap little set. So we ended up keeping the frame, and we use this now to grow some microgreens in the sun. But I needed something to stand up my first iteration of this design. So really what I'd like to do going forward, if this does kind of work out, is actually building out a full frame using more EMT and put this back to use as being something for growing instead of just holding a power washer. So what we have again is we have this EMT hooked into some maker pipe connectors down here. And these maker pipe connectors connect into more EMT. And I've got a little board here with some zip ties, and you'll see zip ties all over this. That's because I didn't want to make this permanent. It's going to be a little bit of a waste of plastic, but again, this is a prototype, so we just got to test some things out first without committing. So we got the board here because what this is going to allow us to do is this is going to be the board, the backboard for as we're kind of sliding these trays back and forth. We needed something to keep the trays from getting pushed out. So we've got basically the ideas. We're going to be able to wash the trays like this, and you kind of flip it, and you can go like this, and you can flip it to the other side. And down here on the bottom, this maker pipe acts as a bit of a rail for us to slide up against. And it'll also, as this power washer is hitting it, it takes all the strain off of our wrist from trying to hold this tray in position, because that's what I was doing originally, is I was kind of holding this myself and washing it, and it was a little strenuous after you get through about 10 trays. So I wanted something that's going to be really easy. I'm just using just a little bit of my arm action here, my little elbow action to move this tray back and forth to get this watered. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this together. All right, so I would suggest some gloves like these. I had these little rubber cleaning gloves in our kitchen. And the reason I suggest this is your hand's gonna be near the power washer, and you want something to protect your skin. This is only a 2000 PSI power washer, but it's still enough to break the skin. And if you have a more powerful one, it is definitely enough to break the skin. So I definitely recommend some kind of hand protection. This, so far I've tested, and it does work well to protect my fingers from the 2000 PSI with this nozzle on it. I don't know that's gonna work for everybody's sprayers at 2000 PSI. So do please use a lot of caution as you do this, because power washers can break the skin and it can tear through plastic. So just really be careful with that. So what I need to do is I need to kind of get this started. I've got a little reusable Velcro strip over here that I am going to use to, number one, I'm gonna get it started. So what I wanna do is I wanna make sure there's no air bubbles in my power washer line right here. Oh man, this thing's fighting me. There we go. Okay, and I just need something that's gonna hold this temporarily while I turn it on. So now the power washer is just going. We've got the water going through it, but the power is not actually being compressed right now. This is just normal hose water being pushed through this nozzle and this pipe. So now as soon as I kick on this power washer, it's gonna get really quite loud. There's gonna be a lot of this noise from the tray, getting water splashed on it, plus the electric power washer kicking on and making all the noise that it does. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna set my phone and I'm gonna set my phone aside and make sure I cover up my microphone nice and good. Okay, I don't know how well you can hear me, but now the power washer is on. So now I'm gonna grab my trays and begin moving them in and out of the power washer. So as you can see, this does throw quite a bit of water all over the place, but it's doing a great job hitting both the top and the bottom in a single spray. See how it's hitting from basically the middle up to the top. And it's also holding in position as I easily slide this back and forth. I mean, this is taking maybe a few pounds of pressure. All right, so I know that was a lot of noise, but I just want to show you guys what was happening was as soon as this kicks on, we're basically getting from the middle up to the top around the edge of this. And it is doing a great job of really cleaning half this tray per kind of swipe through. So it looks like 4 good motions, and I'm able to get most of this tray perfectly cleaned. So then, whoop, well, I just dropped my clean tray. But what you would want to do after you have cleaned your tray, now that I've dropped it in the dirty water, let's give it a quick rinse, is I would then take this and I would set it out of the way. I would stack it over on something up off the ground. And really what I like to do is I like to keep it somewhere where it can get sunlight, because UV rays do sterilize. And if you have a nice sunny day, you can sterilize all of your trays in a few hours just by setting them outside. Whenever you do that, I like to stack them either side by side or even slightly put one underneath the other, so you have a slightly kind of raised surface. And actually I prefer to do it this way. That way all of the water drains. And we have some video clips of this, and we'll show you guys how we stack up our trays and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a few more trays and just kind of feel out how this works. My one kind of thing that I'm noticing right now is you guys can see it, how much water is being pushed off. It kind of shot everywhere. So I do think some kind of little screen perhaps where I could still get the tray in, but it can protect me from most of that blast and potentially, you know, the camera as well and the other people around. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this first little iteration of this design here. Something I do want to say is I had to put some bricks on the bottom down here. And the main reason is if you kick on that power washer without those bricks, the power washer will actually have so much force that it will force this entire rack over, and it'll push it on its side, almost like jet propulsion. So that's it for the first little test on this. I'm gonna do a few more trays. Mandy's gonna get a few more clips, and I'll see you guys in just a second. All right guys, so I have tested out a few trays here, and let me get this undone, get our power shut off there. So I like the design a lot. The thing is, it seems to slide really well in and out. It does seem to have pretty good coverage. I think my only thing that I would do differently is, number one, I'd probably put this nozzle further away so that I can get the entire tray in a single pass instead of only washing half of it at a time. But the issue is, since this is a 2000 PSI power washer, I think that if we took it back further, we wouldn't be able to get like that really, the really kind of stuck in there stuff. Like some things like worm castings and some kinds of roots will sometimes just really grab on, and you really have to get it pretty close with this 2000 PSI pressure washer. So I would like to see a full arc on it so I can do a single pass, and I feel like that would save a lot more water and a lot more time, being single pass one side, flip, single pass other side, and that would do it. And the other thing would be some kind of protector for me to not receive so much water. Like I received a decent splashing, like it wasn't too bad, but something maybe right here to again kind of cover most of my body and that way I don't get a lot of that splash back in my face as I'm trying to wash this, because last time I did this, I got completely soaked. Like I was soaked from head to toe, and I had debris just all over my entire body from the last time I did this. So some kind of protector right here, and a little slot that I could just slide this in and out of. And that would really be my biggest two changes for right now to this. Again, I think that there's a lot of room for improvement on this. This is very much a very rough prototype, but I just kind of want to do something to play around and see if we could figure out some kind of stationary system here for washing these trays. That way you don't have to hold this power washer and spray each one individually, because I actually have a wrist that I previously broken that has a metal plate and 7 screws in it. And I know that after several, I'd say probably about 10 minutes of holding that power washer, the pressure does kind of really start to irritate my wrist. So that's something I try to avoid if at all possible, is putting a lot of strain on this wrist for long periods of time. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. This is kind of a random fun one. This is not something to be taken like super seriously, but I'd love to see the community come up with some more fun designs around this, see what everybody can come up with. I'll keep playing with this, and like I said, I want to actually have something that is completely made out of EMT in the future. So I'll make a build video on that hopefully here soon. So this is, again, the first iteration. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. If you dislike this video, give us a thumbs down. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. We'd love to get those answered for you as soon as we possibly can. Our Instagram and our Facebook are both @OnTheGrowFarms, and our website is www.onthegrow.net. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and keep on believing.